And look at Randy Orton slithering.
Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
KO! Here's the cover.
Hey, what's up guys, and we're finally back with a vid today, and we're finally back with a How I Scout vid, and this one's a little different because, well, we have a diagram, as you can see, professionally made by myself, but, so what we're looking at here is how to scout this from the southern spawn, hence the green arrows, for the number 1 down in the bottom left-hand corner. So the initial play for me on this map is always running up this left side where the dark green is, and where this dark green arrow is or that dark green X is where I'm going to go. Now on the war variant, this is a lot easier because there's a bush there you can actually sit in, and with the dotted line or the hash marks, you can spot right where they cross from the northern spawn right here, and a lot of times you can get them lit up crossing, and sometimes you can shoot yourself depending on your crew, but sometimes it's better to just sit there and let your teammates shoot them as they cross, and you can take some hit points off of them. It can be a little risky also because your team can also just sit here and not push all the way around, so it's a little risky in that aspect as well, losing some map positioning. But once that kind of is situated, you can also get some spots if they push down this middle arrow from the number 2 spawn, but that's not always the case, but sometimes you can. But after that, it's generally a free-flowing map. I don't stay here too long to spot because it kind of runs out after a while. But then I'll try to push down south just to see what I can spot around and see which position is probably the best for me, kind of probe and just kind of mess around and see if I can't get behind them or light them up on the hill. I don't generally spot the hill right away just because I can't really find a great position, and it's not always worth my time. Versus that northern spot, I almost always spot several tanks going that way and get up a little bit of assisted or a little bit damage done. So I generally use this northern position first and then wait my way down south and kind of go from there and see how it works. And we're going to see an example of that coming right up after this shortly in the Panzerwagen that I had last week, I believe. It's not the most damage game or most assisted game ever, but it gives you a really good idea, I think, of how I like to kind of put that, what I just said, into practice, if that all made sense. If not, if you're a visual person, more like me, I guess, this should do the trick. So again, tier 10, we're in the Panzerwagen. So this works on both variants, but it works better on the Sacred Valley, the War variant, because for the position we're going to take up first, there's actually a bush there that you can use fairly effectively, versus on the normal Sacred Valley. You can still get up there, but there's no bush. So just keep that in mind. You can still spot there, but if you're going to fire there without the bush, you're going to get spotted. There's just no doubt about it, because it's, I think, around 370, if less, meters, if that. Let's see when we get up here. But right up here, going initially to the spot, there's a little ramp right there. Push up here. You can stay a little further back also if you don't have to discover crew. It can happen. But yeah, we're about 360 meters, but we're using this bush fairly well. And you see, we don't even get lit up by the G100 LT here, which is really cool. But we're spotting them as they're crossing, picking up some spots further back as well. There's another crossing, maybe a little bit of my OP crew. I think I have like 17 perks in this thing. At this point maybe, but we're just sitting here, we're picking up some spots, some detections on them. No assisted yet, but if you got a little bit of early damage, and that's even if you don't get any assisted, that's fine, but you can get some pretty decent assist damage out of this spot as well. If not, you can get some early damage and hopefully help your team win the HB fight up on the corner there. And as you see, we basically also, instead of just getting damage and assisted as you pick up our first bit of assisted damage there, you can also scare enemies because they're not always expecting to get spotted there, and you can stop them on the corner and it keeps them from pushing. So that's another bonus in that position. And you see we've already picked up 1600 damage of our own, 1700 assisted, and I'm spotted. I think we've had enough of that spot at this point, so we're going to move towards the south, like I said, and just kind of play it by ear at this point in the game. I'm kind of a little worried about this 200 LT. It's kind of an issue. So we're going to go in on him, but we're going to be a little aggressive here. And we're going to totally forget the other tanks in this game. And we lose a lot of hit points. So again, this isn't, as we pick up the spot on 279E and a couple of the other tanks sitting in the base, not the cleanest game I'm trying to showcase here at all by far. But like I said, that spot is fairly effective for some early damage as well as some good assisted if your team is fairly decent at shooting, which, you know, knock on wood. But, and even here, you can go back up into it because it's pretty much the best spotting position from the southern area. The northern spawn, I think I've already done a video on. I actually spot the hill on the northern side, or spot from the hill towards our base where we're at right now. It's confusing a little bit, but that's generally a better area on the southern side, is spotting from the hill towards where that E5 and our 260 is at, and you can get some fairly effective positions there as well. But here, like I said, I'm now going to just kind of patrol in this area, see if I can't get the view range on some people that are just out in the open, such as this 257. And we've loaded the heat for him because we can't pen his lower plate really consistently with APCR, especially at this kind of range. But loading the heat, and he's just deciding to tunnel vision, and he doesn't mind losing all his hit points, so that's cool with me. As we just sit here at 340 meters undetected because he's stock and has a bad crew, and he's not seeing us at all, and he is taken out of the game by our heavies as well. So now at this position in the game is where I'm starting to kind of probe and to see where their tanks are at. If I can take them out like that, I'm not being too aggressive. This game's still close. However, I want to just start seeing if I can get in behind them and see if I can't get maybe a way to find their arty. If I can. It doesn't seem like they have much else over here. I haven't detected anything, and I haven't seen any shots being fired from the hill at this point in the game. So we're pushing. It's a little aggressive at this point, but most of their tanks seem like they were spotted going across over there. I know the 279Es in their base. I know where the 2 TDs, 3 TDs were. And the medium as well was back in their base, as we can see on the map. So at this point, we're taking advantage of knowing they're all in this one area. Now it's still a little risky. The 46 Patton could come back and get us very, very quickly. However, I'm going to take the risk of going for the arty. I've got the HEP loaded, which is going to be so super effective here. And again, this is just not every map is going to have a bush like not Malnovka, but like Prokhorovka, where you could literally just sit there the entire game and spot things. It's just not the case. A lot of maps, or even like Westfield, you may have a position where you can get some early kind of damage, a little bit in the start like this, but eventually you're going to just have to, there's not a complete guide, you're just going to have to flow with the game and see where it goes and be a little bit aggressive. This is Little Nuts here. And you see the wonderful Hesh rounds working as always. I'm just going to focus T92 because 212A just fired. And I know I'm going to easily kill him before he ever reloads in his wildest dreams here. And we put one into him. And we should finish him off in a second for our Brascucci's. But I wish there was a way to say, hey, there's a set way to do this map every single time. But there isn't. There's ways to start off games every single time. But every game World of Tanks is generally fairly different past those initial positions. That can vary, obviously. There's some maps that play out the same every single time, and most do to a certain extent, but there's always minute differences to where I can't just say, hey, this is going to work 10 out of 10 times. No. Sometimes it won't work at all. Sometimes you may go to that position right there and it may not do crap. So, yeah. But it's generally a pretty solid play. It usually works really well for me. Hopefully that helps you guys a little bit in the future. I will have another vid maybe today or maybe later I may work on. It's not going to be a commentary because my capture card was having malfunctions yesterday. So I will have a double header, probably just stream highlights from Twitch. Quality may be a little bad, but there's really good games in the 704 and then a very, very good game in the ISU 130 that some of you may call it yesterday. But they're really good games. I want to upload them. However, they're going to be a little worse quality. and there won't be any post commentary on it. It'll just be the commentary from the stream. So